thing really over. Speed and wash never get discussed. The froggy jump my mommy having fun to say. Wash your clothes, girl. Wash your clothes, girl. Wash your clothes till your clothes all clean. Wash your clothes, girl. Wash your clothes, girl. Wash your clothes till your clothes all clean. Catch the crab boy. Catch the crab boy. Catch the crab boy. Crab boy. Catch the crab boy. Catch the crab boy. Catch the crab boy. Crab boy.
Tonight, did government lose its arbitration case against the Grand Bahama Port Authority? Also, 7 students charged in that school fight last week. And later, concerns mount over illegal flag fishing. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, a decision from an intense dispute that lasted months being handed down. But how will it affect the fate of the nation's second city? That question lingers tonight as there aren't much answers. Our Jose Etienne joining me live in studio tonight with the latest on this. Jose?
Janelle, the outcome of that arbitration proceeding between the Davis administration and the Grand Bahama Port Authority remains a mystery tonight, despite confirmation that a decision has in fact been made. And unless both the government and the GBPA agree to disclose the details, the public may never know the full contents of that ruling. Prime Minister Philip Davis acknowledged that a partial decision has been handed down, but he kept his comments brief.
A partial decision has been made, but I can't say any more than that at this moment.
Still, it remains unclear whether the Davis administration will receive the $357 million it has been seeking from the Grand Bahama Port Authority. That figure was at the heart of the dispute. The government accused the GBPA of failing to meet certain obligations related to infrastructure, economic development, and regulatory responsibilities within the port area. And that $357 million claim may now be significantly higher. In its annual budget communication, the Davis administration indicated its intention to bill the GBPA $75 million annually to cover expenses it says are not offset by tax revenues generated in the port area. The Prime Minister, however, made it clear he does not intend to be drawn into disclosing further details.
Well, as I said, I don't want to get into it because I may stray into revealing the content of the arbitration judgment. And so I will just hold my tongue for now, and I'm smiling.
Observers have described this as a high-stakes legal battle, one that could have far-reaching implications for Freeport's future. The arbitration marked the culmination of a prolonged and very public dispute between the two sides, playing out in statements, press conferences, and political commentary for weeks. Hypothetically, if the ruling is unfavorable to the government, critics may argue it validates claims that the Davis administration overreached in its challenge of the GBPA. Sources familiar with the matter also note that this is not the first time a government has tested the parameters of its relationship with the Port Authority, suggesting previous legal challenges have not succeeded.
But I believe that this is the first time that the government has challenged the GBPA Limited itself. All of the previous times that the government has challenged clauses in the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, they have gone to court, and the government has never been successful in court against the HCA.
Now, if the decision proves favorable to the Davis administration, it could be a major political and economic turning point, one that may give the government greater leverage in its stated intention to redefine or even remove the Grand Bahama Port Authority's current structure. For now, however, confidentiality remains the order of the day. Back to you, Janelle.
Thanks so much, Jose. Of course, it's a story we are continuing to follow. Meantime, as you heard, that reported decision has been reached in government's $375 million arbitration dispute with the Grand Bahama Authority. While no official outcome has been confirmed due to the confidential nature of arbitration, the development could have some major implications for Freeport's future. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question today, what matters most to you right now? 19% of participants voted full transparency from both sides. 79% voted real economic development for Grand Bahama. 0% voted stability in Freeport's governance, while some 2% voted protecting taxpayer dollars. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls, as your voice matters. Well, a man who reported having feelings of depression attempting to take his own life today at a Faith Gardens park, he's currently in hospital tonight. Police say shortly after 11 they received a call from an anonymous resident reporting that a man had tied a rope to a cabana and was attempting to harm himself. Officers responded, made contact with the man who reported that he felt depressed. Emergency medical personnel later transporting him to hospital for treatment and further evaluation. His condition remains unknown at this time as investigations continue. Well, a peaceful Sunday quickly turning into panic after gunshots erupted during a dispute at a family residence, sending a toddler to hospital and police hunting for the suspect. Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has the details in this exclusive tonight.
Gunfire erupting at a family home on Verbena Street, leaving a 4-year-old boy injured after a suspect allegedly showed up looking for a 16-year-old rival. But instead of finding his intended target, police say a 4-year-old boy was caught in the crossfire. Eyewitness News visited the home where bullet marks now serve as a stark reminder of how close the family came to tragedy. The child's grandmother, Adeline Atlas, says her grandson nearly lost his life. She alleges the violence is a result of an ongoing dispute between her son and a schoolmate.
He used to be by my house.
The suspect used
Yeah,
to be
he used to close to by my house. I thought they was cool. Now, you want to kill him? You want to put him 6 feet down? There's no reason for someone to come by someone's house and start shooting. The baby is innocent.
Now, family members calling it a miracle that the 4-year-old was able to escape those bullets, as his grandmother alleges he was right here playing under this chair on the family's front porch before having to hurry through the front doors, running away for survival.
I hear a gunshot. Pop, pop, pop. Up close the door. When I look in his legs, I see it has a big cut, but it looked burned. So I said, that's a grace. He almost lost his life. Thank God. God is on our side. He only get grace on his legs.
The near-death experience has left the family traumatized. Atlia says this incident should serve as a warning to young people about the consequences of escalating conflict.
And that boy say he gonna put my son in t-shirt. Don't wife it for gang. What gang could do for you? Gang can't give you nothing. Babies having guns, shooting people. This never used to be happening.
Police were seen Monday morning canvassing the area and questioning neighbors near the scene. The family claims the suspect is also a minor. Police have not yet announced an arrest. Atlia says she's grateful her grandson survived and is now leaning on her faith as the investigation continues.
We have an angel and we have God on our side, and that baby survived. If I want to drop the charges, I will talk to him. If I want to let him go to jail, I will, but they need to find him.
Lyndon Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Meantime, a 42-year-old man accused of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl in a parked vehicle near Andrews Avenue and Hepburn Alley last week has been granted bail. Derek Dauphin appeared before Magistrate Abigail Farrington, pleading not guilty to charges of unlawful sexual intercourse. According to prosecutors, Dauphin allegedly engaged in sexual activity with the underage girl on a vacant property around 9 p.m. on February 22nd, bail being set at $9,000 with one or two sureties. Dauphin is required to sign in at the Wolf Road Police Station every Friday by 7 p.m. The case is scheduled to return to court on June 11th. Meantime, a 33-year-old man accused of breaking into a woman's home and sexually assaulting her at knife point in the Wolf Road area over the weekend has been remanded to prison. Andrew Nerfino appeared before Magistrate Abigail Farrington on Friday and was not required to enter a plea to charges of rape and burglary. Prosecutors allege that on February 21st, around 4 a.m., he entered the home of a 27-year-old woman on Peardale Road through a window. The victim reportedly woke to find the man holding a sharp object, after which he allegedly sexually assaulted her before fleeing through the front door near a nearby park. The woman was taken to hospital for treatment of an injury to her right finger. Magistrate Farrington informing the accused that the case will proceed to the Supreme Court via voluntary bill of indictment. He must also apply for bail in a higher court. He's been remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until the service of his voluntary bill of indictment on May 29th. While daily life in Dubai has not been dramatically disrupted, residents are being urged to remain indoors as regional tensions escalate amid the ongoing conflict involving the United States, Israel, and Iran. Violence intensified over the weekend with reports of a coordinated missile strike targeting the Iranian leadership. International media reports have reported that their supreme leader was killed. Details remain fluid, and the situation continues to develop. Tanaz Cunningham, a Bahamian businesswoman and co-owner of All Things Arabian, who's based in Dubai, says the reality of the conflict became frighteningly clear on Sunday when the sound of missile explosions could be heard. She says while Dubai remains calm, the uncertainty is unsettling, adding that the conflict has significantly impacted airspace across the Middle East, is resulting in flight disruptions and leaving her temporarily separated from her husband, who's a Bahamian pilot based in Dubai.
We haven't been hearing anything lately. As of yesterday, around 2 p.m., was the last loud noise that we heard, which would have been missiles being intercepted. The airspace is still closed. You know, my husband is still stuck in Tanzania. He was supposed to go on a 24-hour layover, and it's now about 72 hours or a little more. But we're good. We're fine. We're doing well. We're following protocol. You know, the Dubai government is keeping everybody up through text messages and everything. You know, you just stay inside because, you know, when they destroy these missiles, they have to fall somewhere. I'm hearing now that they're partially opening the airport for flights. So I'm just waiting to see if they're going to fully open up. We're not in fear of anything. You know, the government has been keeping us safe.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Philip Davis acknowledging that the government is closely monitoring developments and recognizes it could have some impact on the local economy.
Yes, what we are concerned about our embassy in Dubai. That embassy is not far from the Israeli embassy in that for the UAE, and we are watching it very carefully, determine what happens. Sadly, Iran has turned its guns on the UAE, and we are monitoring that. The Foreign Affairs Ministry is monitoring very closely. And no doubt, any unrest around the world, because we are a consumptive economy, will impact us. As I always said, the stubborn elephant in our room is the cost of living. And we have very little control of costs. So when with the unrest in the Middle East, we expect, and it's projected, that oil prices might rise. And if that does, then all we can do is try to minimize the impact on our citizens.
Multiple students being formally charged following a violent altercation on a school campus last week. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details in this report.
Seven students of Doris Johnson Senior High School charged in court Monday after a violent brawl erupted on campus Friday afternoon, sending the school into lockdown as the chaos unfolded. Assistant Commissioner of Police with responsibility for school policing, Dr. Chaswell Hanna, confirming to Eyewitness News that a zero-tolerance approach is being taken and those responsible will face the full brunt of the law.
We have charged 7 juvenile students of that school with associated charges stemming from that incident. Charges related to the fight that could include assault, causing harm, disorderly behavior, various charges for various persons who participated.
A 20-second video clip now circulating appears to show a male student on his knees while another student strikes him repeatedly about the head and face. Moments later, he is hit with a chair, kicked, and forced to run from his attackers. The violence does not end there. The camera then pans to a second altercation where 2 male students are seen assaulting another individual. One appears to strike the victim in the head and face with what looks like a rock. While more than 7 students may have been involved in the incident, police say those not formally charged should not assume they're in the clear.
We may consider other remedies, including school intervention or perhaps the second chance program.
Officials are also urging parents to participate more in their children's lives, stressing that discipline, guidance, and values begin at home.
We need parents to be more actively involved in what goes on in their child's life. Talk to them when they come home from school, find out what's on their mind. Check their bags before they go to school and when they come back home. You'll be surprised to know what you see.
Dr. Hanna describing the incident as isolated, noting that school resource officers from the Royal Bahamas Police Force remain vigilant across campuses.
From the fall semester of 2022 to now, we've noticed a 46% decrease in school incidents. So we've almost cut those incidents in half.
Meanwhile, authorities are pushing back against claims of another fight circulating online showing individuals in government high school uniforms. Police say that video is from a previous incident and are urging the public to not spread false narratives that fuel panic. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Meantime, a 26-year-old man has been charged with 2 counts of murder following a deadly shooting on Harbour Island, Eleuthera. Samson Joseph appearing before Chief Magistrate Roberto Rackley on Monday, where prosecutors allege that he fatally shot Kristen Francis and Michael Rackley while they were standing outside a business establishment. According to reports, Francis later died at a local clinic, while Rackley was pronounced dead at the scene. Joseph being remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He's scheduled for a voluntary bill of indictment on July 23rd of this year. While a local flats fisherman sounding the alarm tonight, warning that illegal encroachment on Bahamian waters is just not an environmental issue, but a threat to national pride, economic stability, and the livelihoods of those who play by the rules. Our Danielle Dean has the details in this report.
The biggest resort to our tourism industry is from our ocean. If we destroy this, tourism industry, what they come here for? They come here for our ocean. They come here to fish, chill on the beach and all that stuff. So we have to be able to protect this.
A direct warning from a man who makes his living on the water. Charles Johnson, a certified Bahamian flats fisherman, says what he's witnessing is not just illegal activity. It's a direct threat to the country's economic stability and to the morale of law-abiding Bahamians. His comments follow the resurfaced video showing alleged illegal poaching, reigniting national concern about whether enough is being done to protect our natural resources.
You got foreigners who have more means than me, who have a wider audience than me, could come in here, build an Airbnb, buy a boat, and fish here illegally, and run charters and compete with me, who looking for a grant from my government. So that's the challenges we're seeing right now in this particular industry.
Under Bahamian law, persons under the age of 12 cannot engage in flats fishing without proper certification, and only Bahamian registered vessels are permitted to operate on the flats. Johnson says he and other licensed guides who went through the proper channels are not asking for special treatment, only that the law be enforced.
We don't want to be where an offshore poacher getting into confrontation. We don't want to get into confrontation, especially if you have guests on board our vessels. We don't want to be able to confront anybody out there because that's not our job. Our job is to provide professional service for when the guests come in here, they can experience flats fishing in the Bahamas.
The issue comes at a time when the government is pushing to expand blue economy jobs, promising opportunities that both preserve marine life and capitalize on what has historically been a lucrative industry for the Bahamas. But Johnson warns conservation must start with education. He notes that the flats are nurseries where species like grouper and conch begin their lives, making protection of those ecosystems a national priority, not a niche issue. In a statement last month, Marine Resources Minister Jomo Campbell said the government is increasing enforcement efforts to protect local fishermen and guides amid growing complaints that Bahamian marine resources are becoming increasingly vulnerable. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
From the political arena tonight, two coalition of independent candidates dropping out of the race this past week. St. Barnabas Valentino McKinsey and Central and South Eleuthera Christian Hasty, who both cited health or personal reasons for leaving. Green claims that both candidates' reasons for leaving were respectable and that it doesn't take away from the party's readiness or strength in any way.
Has it dropped the morale of the party? No, it has not. Our organization is still going strong. The vision still remains the same and the mission still remains the same. I know how it looks to the public, but I want the public to know that, these type of things happens. This is politics. You expect these things to happen, but it is how the party moves on after that. And we do have a strong leadership.
Well, the St. Barnabas seat is already being filled by newly ratified candidate Dr. Karen Butler, but the party is still on the hunt for their next Central and South Eleuthera candidate.
We have several applicants that are already still applying for seats. So we're in good standing. We know that we are doing good in the polls in South Central Eleuthera. And the people in South Central Eleuthera, we all know where all the eyes are right now.
Well, on to some other news tonight. Many know him as a serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, ambassador, and now political hopeful. Tonight, His Excellency Sebastian says he's putting his life's experiences, accomplishments, and lessons in a book that he hopes will be the beacon of light for the next generation. Our Jose Etienne has the details.
It was a packed room as supporters, public officials, and family gathered to mark the launch of The Lion Beneath the Fade.
The book is about my life, but woven into that, the book is a blueprint on the how-tos and tangible takeaways on just really how to navigate life in general from all angles, not just the business perspective, family, managing friendship, managing the politics of life. And
Bastian says the book was never meant to simply document achievements. Instead, he says it captures the lessons learned along the way, from early uncertainty to long-term vision.
The greatest reward is knowing that a little boy from Pinewood can pick this book up and this could be a blueprint to change the trajectory of his life. If you leave this earth with all your knowledge, all your skill sets, all your trade secrets, and it dies with you, then you're a generational failure.
The project itself began with a symbolic gesture. Bastian recalls receiving a gift from close friend Danae Bethel, a book cover already designed and titled Inside Blank Pages. He says those empty pages served as a challenge to define his own narrative. One chapter explores the importance of pivoting, detailing the early struggles behind one of his first ventures.
I remember when I first started Island Luck, the first day, my sales were $1. So, I doubted the idea. I started several businesses that failed, I thought I had found a gap in the market, and had to realize that in life you don't just look for gap in the market alone. You have to make sure that there's a market for the gap.
That modest beginning, he says, laid the foundation for what would later become a thriving enterprise. Meanwhile, the book is already gaining traction.
In this first week, we would have achieved USA Today bestseller, Los Angeles Times bestseller, Publishers Week bestseller, Amazon #1 biography bestseller. But there's already been thousands of copies sold globally, and it just the achievement isn't the sales. It's just knowing that it's in the hands of so many people that can potentially benefit from the content of the book.
Bastian says the manuscript took some 3 years to complete a process that required reflection, discipline, and revisiting difficult moments.
Failure is the best teacher, and every time I hit a road bump, I let it all out in the ink, right in this book. Every time things didn't go so right, this little boy who grew up from Pinewood Gardens just put it in the ink so somebody else doesn't have to make the mistakes that I've made.
For him, the publication represents more than a milestone. It is a reminder that success is rarely linear and that legacy is built one decision at a time. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
If you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the IO News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, a turning point for Makewana and its residents. We've got the details coming up. And later tonight, a new subdivision for residents, more homes being built for Bahamians. More on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
John, I just found out that KFC has an irresistible promo.
Crunch into the juicy flavor of the new KFC Wrap Star, a classic made modern that's crunchy, melty, and grilled to perfection for all the journeys of your day. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Bahamian ownership in fly fishing is very important. Not only does it create opportunities for Bahamians, this is our industry, so we're proud of what we do. Opportunity is important. It's the story of my life because with the opportunities, you can chart your own course. Prime Minister Davis and his team see the opportunities by providing these grants and what it can do for our country. It's just wonderful. And I'm glad to see these ventures working so that other people can get involved. This is real. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's help ourselves.
The world is changing. It's bringing new challenges, but also new opportunities. The truth is, our economy always left too many Bahamians out. Now we're opening new doors in agriculture, tourism, energy, entrepreneurship, providing grants, scholarships, national service, and upskilling. A new generation is rising, and we're finally moving in the right direction, building an economy that includes everyone.
Life moves fast, and the best moments happen when you get more from every connection.
Boy, live come true, eh? Appreciate it.
When your world is connected, more convenience comes naturally, so you can keep moving with more freedom and less interruption. From real-time updates to everyday essentials, you stay more in sync with life. Because when time matters, more reliability keeps you one step ahead. From home to work and everywhere life takes you, our network is built for more.
Yes, we got everything secured in the cloud.
Driven by a network built for today and designed to deliver more possibilities tomorrow.
Oh, how we getting ya?
Where entertainment is more immersive.
Who's again? Hey, watching the game.
And real-life moments come with more access instantly. This is connectivity that feels out of this world. Join the family and experience more. It's good to be alive.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. $5.11 at Esso tonight. Esso and Rubis, $5.31. Those are your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal is pushing back against claims regarding land at Papal Tract, where a new government subdivision named Premier Estates West is being developed off of West Bay Street. Officials say the land has been owned by government since 1957, when it was lawfully acquired for public purposes. The ministry says that legal status remains unchanged. The property has been used over the years for several government subdivisions, and the ministry is assuring homeowners in those earlier developments that that their titles remain valid and secure. Officials also warning that some individuals are allegedly attempting to claim or sell portions of the land, calling those claims unfounded. About 30 acres of the site has been set aside for Premier Estates West, a new 169-lot subdivision aimed at expanding home ownership opportunities for Bahamian families.
Mayagüana residents used vehicle headlights to guide a landing aircraft after runway lights failed in 2013.
Well, it's a turning point for Mayagüana and its residents this past weekend with the opening of a new airport, a dream locals hope to see realized for years. Danielle Dean was at that commissioning ceremony.
Vehicle headlights to guide a landing aircraft after runway lights failed in 2013. On Saturday, that memory stood in sharp contrast to a new full-service airport now equipped with security, police, and emergency response facilities. Prime Minister Philip Davis called the moment symbolic of progress and safety.
The fact that we have improved the airport, the lights, etc., remove that possibility again of where we have to bring cars out to the runway to ensure that emergency flights could come in. But, the significance is obvious. You have a terminal, you have connectivity, and all of that will bring people to the islands and in a safe and secure manner.
Home to fewer than 300 residents, Mayagüana has long relied on mailboat service as its primary connection to the capital. Officials say the new airport will improve access, boost tourism, and create economic opportunities.
Opening new cargo, air, sea, creation of industries, including commercial fishing. I've envisaged one day that we're going to be flying seafood out of here to Brazil directly. You got the airstrip to do it.
The project forms part of the government's 14 airport expansion plan, also targeting Abaco, Bimini, and Ket Island. The Prime Minister maintains no island is receiving special treatment.
Some are completing sooner than others. That's because of the pace that the contractor is going and because of any other logistics that may attend to the construction period.
Chairman of Mayagüana Island Developers, Stephen Roy, who has been involved in the project for more than a decade, says completion of the terminal is a turning point.
The final impetus to get the construction of this terminal building underway came from a video that was mentioned earlier, which circulated showing the conditions of the old terminal. And on seeing that, I wrote to the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister and committed to begin construction of this terminal.
The airport was completed in December and received full power in January. While officials anticipate a steady stream of investors, residents say the true test will be whether regular airlift and sustained economic activity follow. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, the Public Hospitals Authority responding tonight after the family of a 72-year-old man, Felix Benaby, who accused Princess Margaret Hospital of negligence following his temporary disappearance on the weekend. Benaby, a dementia patient, was admitted to hospital on Saturday, his family claiming that they were not informed that he had gone missing until Sunday. According to relatives, Benaby went missing hours after admission and was later found on Sunday afternoon at his sister's home in the Malcolm Road area, more than an hour's walk from the hospital. In a statement, the Public Hospitals Authority said hospital staff observed Benaby leaving the facility unaccompanied and immediately notified the Royal Bahamas Police Force, this triggering an island-wide search. Officials emphasized that Benaby was safely located and returned to hospital. He continues to receive care. They added that, quote, the authority remains committed to the safe, timely, and compassionate care of all patients entrusted to their services. Well, the Davis administration's affordable housing subdivision making strides tonight as officials look to complete the Vispin Meadows subdivision by the end of May. Prime Minister Philip Davis and Housing Minister Keith Bell revealing several homes in that subdivision located off of St. Vincent Road have already been assigned to Bahamians who will turn the keys on their new homes within a few months.
Here we are again delivering on our promises to ensure that people have affordable homes. We're going to continue to build homes. The demand is great. We are attempting to meet that demand. What you see here is just, again, another step in the direction of ensuring that we are providing affordable homes for our people.
This subdivision comprised of 35 new homes
as well as it will also comprise of a 12-unit structure for families for our rent-own program. And we're very proud of our achievement. I want to thank the Acting Chief Housing Officer, my Minister of State, the Permanent Secretary, and everybody who have played a critical role in the development of this subdivision. Of note, all of these homes are being built by small Bahamian contractors.
Now, while the Davis administration addresses housing shortages here in the country and empower Bahamians to be homeowners, officials say they still have their hands full trying to strike a balance between preserving the rights of landlords and tenants. The Davis administration has been working on a draft bill to address this issue, but it's unlikely that residents will see any forward movement on that bill before voters head to the polls.
I don't think you'll see any legislation in respect to rental and the costs of rental coming before the election. But we are looking into how we can ensure that rentals are reasonable to persons who want to rent homes. The challenge is that rentals is a personal contract between the landlord and the tenant. And it's very difficult for government to intervene in that sort of personal contractual relationship. All we can do is regulate in a way that we assure that what is being rented, for example, is fit for rental. Regulate in the context that the value of the home is commensurate to what the rent might be. Those are some things we might be able to do.
Meanwhile, Trade Union Congress leader Obie Ferguson threatening to take legal action against Labor Director Howard Thompson as well as government's chief labor consultant Bernard Evans, as he accused both of them of touting an agreement that Ferguson says was never made. It comes as Ferguson says he's been wrestling with the Davis administration to secure benefits for unionized workers at the Grand Lucine Resort who were recently made redundant as the resort moves into a redevelopment phase.
They're calling the Prime Minister to do the right thing to have this guy removed. We're going to sue him. And the director can get sued because the director knows we never had a meeting. So why would he allow Evans to put him in that kind of predicament? And he's a lawyer like me. So he can't say he don't know the law. Can't say he don't know what libel means. Can't say he don't know what defamation means. All of us went to law school and we studied the same thing.
Ferguson also blasting the Davis administration for what he calls their failure to give the redundant workers what he says are rightfully theirs.
The government is not following the law itself. The same law they pass. Give the workers what they're entitled to. That's all. If you're going to close, fine. The workers got absolutely what I call nothing. They block the system, so we can't access it.
Meantime, the Director of Labor, Howard Thompson, is clarifying reports surrounding comments attributed to him and Attorney Bernard Evans involving Union leader Obie Ferguson. Thompson claims the Director of Investment asked them to convene a meeting with Ferguson, but no face-to-face meeting has taken place. Only telephone discussions with no final decision reached. He noted that he's been on annual leave since February 28th and only became aware of the reports today. Now, Thompson says he's since spoken with Ferguson and the two have agreed to meet in person upon his return, where he intends to offer a personal apology for any miscommunication. Meantime, 88-year-old SuperValue owner Rupert Roberts is said to be recovering well after being treated for pneumonia and has now been moved out of intensive care. Roberts was airlifted from Nassau to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, after his condition reportedly worsened and he required urgent blood transfusions. In a recent Facebook post, Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell said he visited Roberts and his wife, bringing greetings and support during the businessman's recovery. Eyewitness News continues to send their well wishes for his recuperation. While still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, we continue our Meet the Candidate series. A new political newcomer is in the arena. He has his eyes set on Pinot. We've got the details, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
At BOB, we take pride in our business banking.
I chose Bank of the Bahamas because it was a Bahamian-owned bank. The bank has certainly supported our evolution through overdraft facilities, purchasing of equipment, facilitating of salary payments, and I really believe that Bank of the Bahamas is able to help in the development of the local economy. I would truly recommend the services at Bank of the Bahamas.
Some burgers are simple. The Barbecue Crispy King, this one goes all in. Smoky barbecue sauce, crispy bacon, flame grilled beef, stacked high flavor in every bite. In Nassau, we don't do small, and we definitely don't do boring. And when morning hits, the Breakfast Barbecue Crispy King has that bam to start the day. Burger King Nassau, triple down on big flavor.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Very dry, tight, sensitive skin? Relieve it in 60 seconds with Aveeno Skin Relief. With soothing triple oat complex, clinically proven to heal and strengthen dry skin. Aveeno, your skin stronger.
Don't let diarrhea steal your sunshine. Imodium Multi-Symptom Relief gets to work fast in just 1 hour, offering our most complete relief from diarrhea, bloating, gas, and cramps. So you can get diarrhea off your mind. Imodium. Calm the chaos of diarrhea.
103.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D. All backed up by the Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, 30. VIP, 75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, as we keep our eye on the upcoming election, Janelle Longley tonight introduces you to another candidate hitting the ground with the Free National Movement, this time in the Pinewood constituency. Here's that report.
Denari Rowland is a man of action. And not only a man of action, politics need men of integrity. And that is who I am.
A passionate youth leader, a decorated technology professional, and now inspired by a mission to tackle brain drain. He's the Free National Movement's pick for the Pinewood constituency.
You're fighting systems. And the more get involved, the better it is. I often encourage people, it's easy to complain from the sidelines. It's easy to see what's happening from the sidelines. So what do you do about changing it? Get involved.
He admits, though, a hefty task stands ahead, and not in attempting to nab the seat from incumbent Member of Parliament Miles LaRota or beat out coalition leader Lincoln Bain, but in convincing the constituents that he has the golden fix for decade-long flooding issues. And to that, he says, check his record.
I work the water and sewage, so much so that I manage operations in the operation department, dealing with road reinstatement, data infrastructure. Prior to that, I was a technician in GIS, that's geographical information systems, where we had to survey land, plot the various houses or meters, laterals, lines within the community, dealing with infrastructure.
Now, Rolls says there are some beliefs that could make him less favorable with the Bahamian public, one of which is his stance on capital punishment.
I think we celebrate when it's 90 murders or 80 because we used to be being 100 or something, but to me, 1, 2, 3 murders, children or parents losing their life is too many. I think it would put fear in the criminals to be scared to say that there's potential that I could die if I make this decision, because you know the Bible tells you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
And now Pinewood, the ball is in your court to decide to employ Roll or renew LaRota's contract for another 5 years. Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Devontae Hanna has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Devontae.
Well, good evening, Janea. It's a Monday evening. You know how Mondays are with me, but we got some good news, we got some bad news, and we got some in between, and we'll tell you all about it right after this break.
Follow the savings and head to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets for super specials like Chef Boyardee Spaghetti and Meatballs, 15 ounces, $1.69. American Spice Lemon or Lime Juice, 32 ounces, $1.69. Robin Hood Flour, 5.5 pounds, $5.29. Yellow onions, 3-pound bag, $2.99. Baby back spare ribs, $2.99 per pound. From store to store, no one saves you more than Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Tasha, what you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to cash J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance. Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online. Stop it. How you do that? Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for the online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never have to stand in line again. Amen to that. Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind. 103.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D, all backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, $30. VIP, $75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Devontae Hanna, and welcome to Eyewitness Sports. Well, as I mentioned, some not so good news here. Team Bahamas just couldn't build on their momentum from its win over Jamaica, falling 71-66 to Puerto Rico in the FIBA Basketball World Cup Americas qualifiers in San Juan on Sunday. We're talking about basketball here. Kai Jones, the big man, and Franco Miller, they led the team with 19 points each, but Puerto Rico used a strong second quarter run to take control and really hold off the late Bahamian charge. The loss leaves both teams at a 1-3 in Group B, with Canada leading the standings at 4-0. Team Bahamas will get another chance to improve its position, though, when it hosts Jamaica and Puerto Rico, the rematch right here at home at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gymnasium. Coach Moses Johnson spoke post-game. He says the team played strong, but ultimately came too late.
Down the stretch, we started to get it right, and it was just a little bit too late. Too little, too late. But hats off to Puerto Rico. They played a good game. They played like they really wanted it, and we just came up short. The way we played down the stretch bode well for us. It showed us that if we stick to our brand of basketball, we'll be productive, and so when we go away from it, we'll suffer. But I think most of all, it showed us that if we play the right way, we'll have success, and so we'll take the good with the bad and build on the successes of the last 5 minutes and carry that over to quarter number one in the next window.
All right, so over to the indoor track. Wanye McCoy leading a strong weekend for Bahamian collegiate athletes. He turned in a season's best performance at the SEC Indoor Track and Field Championships. The University of Florida senior ran 20.31 seconds in the men's 200 meters to clinch the silver medal in College Station, Texas, in a fight to the finish. McCoy qualified for the final with the fastest time, though, in the heats at 20.31 seconds before finishing just behind Arkansas's Jelani Watkins in the final, who won in 20.28 seconds. It was a nail-biter to the end. McCoy also competed in the men's 60 meters, finishing 11th overall in 6.64 seconds, and helped Florida to a fourth-place finish in the 4x400 meter relay. Meantime, Bahamian sprinter Antoine Andrews also turned up a solid performance at the Big 12 Indoor Track and Field Championships in Lubbock, Texas. The Texas Tech senior finished fourth in the men's 60 meters in a time of 6.61 seconds after running 6.66 in the heats. Now, here's the really bad news. Andrews also competed in the 60-meter hurdles, but he just couldn't seem to find his rhythm. He got left in the blocks, crashed into hurdle 1 and 2, and barely managed to get across the finish line. He ended up with a time of 9.97 seconds for a 7th place finish. Now, Andrews says this season, though, he's working on getting out of his head and turning his strong practices into great performances.
Just finished strong. Like, this is my last year. I want to go with a bang. So, like I said, I'm not trying to get caught up in like the mental aspect of things. I'm just trying to focus on just executing. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to do. If I go there and do it, I know it's going to be a good sight. You know what I mean?
Well, several other Bahamians all on the collegiate track this weekend will keep you updated on the indoor circuit as the week goes on. Well, the John McEnroe Tennis Center came alive as they hosted their inaugural Women's Doubles Classic over the weekend, attracting more than 25 participants for an afternoon of competition and training. The event, called Advantage Her, began with a doubles clinic led by Director of Rackets Duran Donaldson, also with former FED Cup representative and WTA-ranked player Nikita Fountain and former national player Jody Turnquest. Players later competed in a round-robin doubles tournament, with Deatra Delancey and Malaka Thompson emerging as the overall champions. Clearly, it was a fun weekend, and I may join you all on the tennis court sometime soon. But that's all we have for sports. Once again, I'm Devontae Hanna. Stay tuned, though. News continues right after this break.
Providence! This is our moment of unity. Bam, 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 bam. Feel the rhythm, feel the purpose, feel the power of togetherness. On Tuesday, March 24th at 9:30 a.m., the journey begins as the baton of camaraderie run ignites the spirit of the GSSSA schools of New Providence. From campus to campus, junior to senior high, the baton will travel through our government schools, symbolizing unity, teamwork, respect, and shared responsibility. Each handoff tells a story. Each stride carries pride. Each school plays a role. Rack-attack. That's not just the beat, that's the sound of schools connected. That's the sound of New Providence moving as one. The journey builds, the energy rises, and on Thursday, March 5th, the final exchange will be made to the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, officially ushering in the opening of the GSSSA 2026 Track and Field Championships. This is more than a run. It's a message. It's a movement. It's New Providence standing together for its youth. Baton of camaraderie run, fueling the nation through youth athletics. The road to GSSSA 2026 begins here. New Providence, pass it strong, run it proudly, carry it together.
The Fox Foundation proudly presents the keynote speaker for the 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, this March 19th at 7 p.m. at the beautiful Bahamas Resort. Get ready to be inspired by Randy Zuckerberg, tech innovator and the creator of Facebook Live. She revolutionized real-time digital engagement, empowering individuals and brands to broadcast instantly to global audiences. And now she brings that innovation and insight to the Fox Foundation's 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, March 19th at 7 p.m. at the Bahamas Resort. Under this year's theme, Give to Gain, join us for a night designed to inspire growth, spark opportunity, and strengthen the future of women in business.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard, but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Idle Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds. When you set a budget before you start,
and know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
Fun. So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
That wraps up news this Monday. Coming up, on the headlines with Shanique Miller, a look at all of today's top stories. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island.
Views and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, remember that brawl that saw chairs and more flying across the schoolyard at Doris Johnson Senior High School? Well, several students were charged today. We have the story. Also tonight, a 4-year-old was shot in the middle of a gunman hunting his 16-year-old uncle. That's right, you heard me. Also, Mayaguana gets a new airport, the first in an independent Bahamas. We have the highlights of that for you, and the latest in the standoff between the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. It's all straight ahead this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, multiple students have been formally charged following a violent altercation on the school campus at Doris Johnson. You remember that video last week when we talked about it and saw the fight that was just so brutal and senseless in nature. Linton Ritchie Jr. has been following the story and fills us in.
Hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production.
7 students of Doris Johnson Senior High School charged in court Monday after a violent brawl erupted on campus Friday afternoon, sending the school into lockdown as the chaos unfolded. Assistant Commissioner of Police with responsibility for school policing, Dr. Chaswell Hanna, confirming to Eyewitness News that a zero-tolerance approach is being taken and those responsible will face the full brunt of the law.
We have charged 7 juvenile students of that school with associated charges stemming from that incident. Charges related to the fight that could include assault, causing harm, disorderly behavior, various charges for various persons who participated.
A 20-second video clip now circulating appears to show a male student on his knees while another student strikes him repeatedly about the head and face. Moments later, he is hit with a chair, kicked, and forced to run from his attackers. The violence does not end there. The camera then pans to a second altercation where 2 male students are seen assaulting another individual. One appears to strike the victim in the head and face with what looks like a rock. While more than 7 students may have been involved in the incident, police say those not formally charged should not assume they're in the clear.
We may consider other remedies, including school intervention or perhaps the second chance program.
Officials are also urging parents to participate more in their children's lives, stressing that discipline, guidance, and values begin at home.
We need parents to be more actively involved in what goes on in their child's life. Talk to them when they come home from school, find out what's on their mind. Check their bags before they go to school and when they come back home. You'll be surprised to know what you see.
Dr. Hanna describing the incident as isolated, noting that school resource officers from the Royal Bahamas Police Force remain vigilant across campuses.
From the fall semester of 2022 to now, we've noticed a 46% decrease in school incidents. So we've almost cut those incidents in half.
Meanwhile, authorities are pushing back against claims of another fight circulating online showing individuals in government high school uniforms. Police say that video is from a previous incident and are urging the public to not spread false narratives that fuel panic. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
That there is quite vexing. It's good to know that a number of those students will be made to answer to the law for being disruptive on the school campus, in the classrooms. I mean, it causes so many questions. What are they going to school for? We understand now the national GPA that doesn't seem to move from either the F or if you're lucky, the D, that has been hovering around for more than a decade.
30 years.
How many years?
30 years.
That, right there. And so let's jump in right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors Cassia Stewart, Michael Turnquest. Good evening to both of you gentlemen.
Good evening, Shanique.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Gentlemen, your thoughts on when we saw that play out last week, and of course we saw that Chaswell Hanna, who is the ACP in charge of school security, among other things, for the force, obviously is intent on sending a very strong message.
Yeah, we don't have a disciplined society, and what I see is we're raising a bunch of animals, because anyone who are in the streets carrying like that are animals. And there's a place for animals called cages. And so while we say, oh, that's my good child, your child is acting like an animal. And so we need to enforce the law in the Bahamas. I heard the police officer say second chance. What they need is caning. We need to bring back the caning. When I was growing up, there was caning. When your mommy was growing up, there was caning, and we were disciplined. And we need to bring back the caning. Those young kids, we should cane them, tell their little behinds a saw, and they won't ever think about doing foolishness like that. Right now, every time they figure that somebody got a phone, they want to record, they want to fight. We cannot raise a society that is chaotic. These are the future leaders of our country. And if that's the future leader of our country, we're in trouble. And that is the reason why we got to instill discipline in our children. We got to make sure that when you in the Bahamas, we have a societal norm, and that societal norm is we believe in discipline. If you violate the law, you will be punished, and you'll be punished severely. No questions asked. We ain't interested in no pampering and no petting you up. We can punish you until you understand that those type of behavior we don't tolerate in our country, and that's what we need to send a message to all children in all schools of the Bahamas. We don't tolerate that.
Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, Shanique, I agree with everything that Cassie said. And, this is something that's nothing new to our school system. This is something that is ongoing and systemic. It just continues to happen and happen. But, we have a wider issue. We have a lot of single moms, trying with these young men. And, sometimes, I have to say, I know it's hard on them sometimes bringing up boys, and sometimes they need to either reach out to help, but sometimes they also need to stop defending these troublesome young men. Stop showing up to the police station, saying, "Oh, my good boy," and showing up to court on their behalf. Sometimes you got to let these so-called animals that want to be so-called themselves humans, let them go through the process and let the system deal with them, because this is becoming too systemic in our school system, where we see young children that want to learn being affected by it. How much kids I'm sure that went to school that they want to actually be there and learn something.
Yes.
Want to be able to go home and say, this is what I took in today, and this is what I just express in terms of what they did. Not to hear that, hey, we had a bunch of kids today, basically almost like they're trying to kill each other.
Mm-hmm. But Michael,
absolutely.
But Shanique, the scripture says, foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far from them. What we do is we figure we don't need the rod of correction, and that is the problem. The rod of correction need to drive the foolishness out of these children's heart far from them.
I always tell people the amount of class that I took as a young man growing up in the real era, what we call the gang era. When the Raiders, the Hoyas, we had all type of gangs. We had from C.I. Gibson, R.A. Bailey. Back then was when we had what we call the gang eruption, and just going around in schools and things happening. My father had to ensure that, as for having 4 boys, that we don't get idle. Whether we were doing construction in the farm, working, getting our ass cut every day, but I took a beating. Mm-hmm. And that's what made sure that I know when my mother said, "Hey, I can call you daddy," right? I said, "They don't need for all that." Because I know
that put the fear of God in you.
I put the fear of God in me, and I say, whatever I do, let me stop it now. Because I know when he comes, my daddy used to go to Mexico and buy a special belt
Oh,
just he used to bring a belt out and hang that up.
He was a brilliant man, and if more fathers and mothers and guardians would do the same thing in today's youth, that'll be amazing. You know, I saw something today with the leader of the opposition talking about training and giving Bahamians an opportunity and empowering them at the shipyard in Grand Bahama. I spoke with Rupert Haywood and off the record, and because I said, while it's all true, Bahamians need that opportunity, and even Haywood agrees, yes, of course, but you were talking about a multi-billion-dollar business where you have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of let's say property, then cruise ships and all the rest of the like coming there to be worked on with people who don't have a regard and a respect and the specialized skill. So you're not even taking the time to want to get the knowledge you need, whether it's in high school, as we saw a moment ago, the trade school that's there, or any other thing. You're not taking the time to apply yourself, but you want to step up and work on these multi-billion-dollar compounds and companies and do what?
Usually,
go on, Mike.
I agree in terms of Bahamians needing an opportunity training, but you know, we have to ask ourselves a really serious question. We look at our workforce today. If we honestly take a look at our workforce and see who is making up our workforce, the faces of our workforce is not Bahamians anymore, you know. And we have to ask ourselves, where's our young Bahamian men? What are they doing? And I ask myself that every day. Where are they? Are they actually coming out and looking for jobs? Because I can tell you from me being an employer, I can tell you no. They are very, very few, very near and far that you see Bahamian young men apply for positions, and actually, if they do apply, they don't show up to the interview.
Wow.
No, he is absolutely right. The construction field is totally gone. The tiling field is gone. The masonry, all that is totally gone. The Haitian nationals, Haitian Bahamians have consumed that almost 100% now.
Jamaicans.
Well, them too.
All of them.
I don't see many of them.
Highly skilled.
But they do really good work. The question is, I think I should say, I could say this. I could say this on TV. I said to the young man, I said, listen, you guys do such good work. Why you don't go home and fix your country? The man say to me, but if we go, who can do your work?
He's right. Legitimate question.
I say, that is true because we need to be able to train our young people to be able to meet the demands, but our young people ain't stepping up. But remember now, success is never random. We have to strategically place our young people in these positions. We just figure we could run a society haphazardly and let it flow how it flow. It don't work that way. If you want a successful society, it has to be strategic. You got to know what you're going after.
What else need to be strategic? As you said, corporal punishment. Bring it back on schools. Yes, bring it back on campuses, because then if you're going to say to build a nation, and to build a nation requires muscle and might. It ain't just, you ain't going to wish it. You ain't going to wish that nation to happen. So therefore, have these children who desire to actually be meaningful citizens of this here nation, have them to show up and be disciplined and understand that discipline is the thing that's going to set them apart and cause them to stand out. Other than that, ship the animals. And someone said, one of the viewers tonight said, you are being very cruel to animals when you call those ones animals who were just carrying on, who we saw the video of. Go ahead, Michael.
But they are children, right? And really and truly, that's our future. And we have to really go after them to try to get them on the right path. We can't give up on them. There's no space to give up on them, but we have to do what we can to make sure that we instill discipline across the board in our society. Without that discipline factor, our preamble speaks about that. Without that discipline factor, the whole country collapses. And that's where we fall in now. Or a collapsed society, because there's no discipline at the bottom, there's no discipline in the middle, and there's no discipline at the top. We need discipline in our society.
Straight across the board, which I agree. But we have to really take to consideration in terms of something. We know who the troublemakers are in the school system. We can't continue to leave them in there, because one bad apple could spoil them all, or spoil many. It's time that you start taking them out one by one, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is you have a disruption inside the system, and it's continuously happening. And if you allow, and the principals and the police at the certain schools, they know who they are. They know exactly. They need to start saying, hey, we need these 5 removed from the school, because it's only one day is just going to be a problem with a particular set or a particular 1 or 2.
Sure that across the board we enforce discipline in our country. And for me, I was not a all bright, a good student. I got disciplined. I got beaten many times. In fact, you know, my grandfather used to make sure beat us when we ducked school, when we were bad. But all that made me who I am today, because the discipline. And when you remove that discipline factor, the whole country collapsed. And that's
Absolutely.
What
When we became new age and decided that it was out of date and out of
too
style
sophisticated to be children.
discipline students, and I'm not saying abuse, there's a difference. But when you took corporal punishment out and decided that teachers no longer have the right and the authority to actually be the authority figures in a classroom, or even the senior staff, then that's when you had these animals show up.
You know, Singapore is one of the most disciplined society, and they just enacted caning for scammers, so people who are in the scanning, and so now bringing back caning for scanners. And you remember when Bill Clinton was trying to tell the little boy who was spray painting and chewing gum, and they were successful getting the 6 lashes to cane, and he called the Prime Minister of Singapore.
Man, you all stay out of people's business. So
They gave him one cut up to this day. He ain't forget that. And that's what we need. We need to make sure.
Stay out of people's business and stop trying to indoctrinate the rest of the world on your slack rules.
Give them a cut up out of this world. They'll never pick up a chair to throw at another child. Give them that cut up. And y'all parents, I blame y'all parents, because y'all slapping up. No slapping up with these children. You got to deal with children firmly, because foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child. Only the rod of correction will drive it far from him, according to Scripture, if you believe in Scripture.
Well, quickly, I want to go ahead, Michael.
You know what my father always told me. He said, "Boy, if I ever have to come to the police station to get you out of there, it's better they keep you in there." And that's what these parents need to start instilling inside their children, these boys, that, hey, let me have to come get you out of the station.
Absolutely. And you know, Michael and Cassius, begin being parents again. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that.
And not friends.
You laid and you played,
yeah.
And so you brought forth. Mm-hmm. So therefore, be responsible for what it is you produced.
You know,
it's as simple as that. Speaking of gentlemen, Michael, you have more to say on this?
The problem is children having children. And that's what it boils down to. But we can move on.
Go on.
A magistrate says she's had enough of prisoners coming to court in dirty clothes. Apparently, there are only 2 of the 8 washing machines at the prison working. Now the prison is seeking to outsource the washing so that prisoners can go to court clean and smelling nice. Gentlemen, your thoughts on here it is that they have now got to outsource. So I guess get ready, D'Aguila. He's a sponsor of this show.
Super wash.
I could call Super Washing him because he's a sponsor.
What we trying to turn it into a hotel?
Listen, them fellas rape, rob, kill, steal, and I still got to wash their clothes. Let them wash their own damn clothes. Let them wash their own clothes. No, I ain't washing your clothes. Big grown man in Fox Hill prison can't wash their own clothes. They come in the court date. No, let them wash their own clothes. I ain't washing their clothes, and I got to pay for that? No. Don't go that way. Let them wash their own clothes.
Man, come on.
You didn't know about scrubbing body. My mommy used to have a scrubbing board. My grandmother had a scrubbing board. Take 6 scrubbing board up there and let them scrub their own clothes.
That is too inhumane in today's
world. What's wrong with them?
Michael, what your thoughts are? Perhaps scrubbing board is too inhumane. It's not a humane action.
I mean, we so sophisticated. We stupid. We dumb.
We putting our focus on the wrong thing. You know, we worrying with people who are incarcerated and worrying about how they get their clothes. Get them a scrubbing board in the tin tub and a chair to sit down and let them scrub. And let's worry about our school system. Let's worry about our young people we trying to keep out of that place. Let's not try to make that place look inviting. That's the issue. We trying to fix up Fox and make it look inviting that people go and sit up there for a couple of years and say, hey, man, it's nice. Let me get my 2-3 meals a day, get my clothes washed.
Clothes washed and folded.
All them big man up there, nobody could wash clothes. That's my problem. I mean, big man, y'all have this, whatever y'all call it, to commit crime, but you can't, listen, Minister of National Security, the only thing I authorizing you to donate to them is some scrubbing board and some tin tub. Don't go take their clothes, washing machine. Let them go wash their own clothes.
Let them come to court, put a glass, put just how we had COVID doing, put a plexiglass, let them stay in a little somewhere in a box at the club. That way they all smell each other and they go in and they come and they go back out, go back to where they come from.
Yeah, we gotta wash them big grown man clothes. What's wrong with them?
I don't know.
I mean, I understand the judge want a court to be nice, but don't put that burden on us. Let them go get them on some tin tub and one, and we used to use back in the day. They used to use Joy, right? Joy, right?
Joy or
Whatever.
Omo. Remember
Omo,
that? I heard somebody
yeah,
call.
Omo.
I heard somebody.
Omo. You remember Omo?
Oh my God.
You had some
I
Omo?
remember somebody called that name just recently.
Omo.
Someone said, y'all don't even know about Omo. That just came to my mind just
I
now.
remember Omo.
Listen to me. OMG.
Yeah, get them some Omo.
Listen to me. Or something. You know what I'm saying? Them other kind of washing powder.
Tell the minister, get them a tin tub, scrubbing board and some Omo, and they're good. That's all they need. Let them go wash their own clothes.
What about the bleach?
On the wrong things.
I don't think they even need no bleach. Don't get no bleach.
They need bleach.
They need
That's the
bleaching.
Port Bahamian, Clorox bleach.
Yeah.
Not Clorox. What is that called?
Blanco, man.
Blanco bleach.
They're all in some and Omo and
Talking about
Little
wash.
festival.
Talking about wash their clothes. Big grown
Little
man.
festival, eh? Listen, don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to continue this going. Our 4-year-old is quite lucky to be alive tonight after he was shot, after gunmen apparently came looking for a relative. Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash. And you know how Superwash always have the latest and greatest model of washer and dryer? Well, they thought it's about time they get the latest supermodel as well.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Charlie Banana. Just because Superwash always changing and upgrading their machines, I mean they gotta change those spokes, but they got the newest washer and dryer, and they always upgrading all their locations. And these two models, they ain't got to change. Superwash, they washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
In a world of imagination, even a little mess can be part of the adventure. But for a truly royal snack, we need a clean slate. A few drops of Penalin dish liquid makes even dried-on paint disappear like magic. Penalin dish liquid. Powerful cleaning in 3 fresh scents.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
Don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D, all backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, $30. VIP, $75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
A peaceful Sunday quickly turned into panic after gunshots erupted during a dispute at a family residence, sending a toddler to hospital and police hunting for the suspect. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the story.
Gunfire erupting at a family home on Verbena Street, leaving a 4-year-old boy injured after a suspect allegedly showed up looking for a 16-year-old rival. But instead of finding his intended target, police say a 4-year-old boy was caught in the crossfire. Eyewitness News visited the home where bullet marks now serve as a stark reminder of how close the family came to tragedy. The child's grandmother, Adeline Atlas, says her grandson nearly lost his life. She alleges the violence is a result of an ongoing dispute between her son and a schoolmate.
He used to be by my house.
The suspect
He used to close to by my house. I thought they was cool. Now, you want to kill him? You want to put him 6 feet down? There's no reason for someone to come by someone's house and start shooting. The baby is innocent.
Now family members calling it a miracle that the 4-year-old was able to escape those bullets, as his grandmother alleges he was right here playing under this chair on the family's front porch before having to hurry through the front doors, running away for survival.
I hear a gunshot. Pop, pop, pop. Up close the door. When I look in his legs, I see it has a big cut, but it looked burned, so I said that's a grace. He almost lost his life. Thank God, God is on our side. He only get grace on his legs.
The near-death experience has left the family traumatized. Adlia says this incident should serve as a warning to young people about the consequences of escalating conflict.
And that boy say he gonna put my son in T-shirt. Don't wife it for gang. What gang could do for you? Gang can't give you nothing. Babies having guns, shooting people. This never used to be happening.
Police were seen Monday morning canvassing the area and questioning neighbors near the scene. The family claims the suspect is also a minor. Police have not yet announced an arrest. Atlia says she's grateful her grandson survived and is now leaning on her faith as the investigation continues.
We have an angel and we have God on our side, and that baby survived. If I want to drop the charges, I will talk to him. If I want to let him go to jail, I will, but they need to find him.
Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Cassius and Michael, quite disturbing. Thank God that toddler seemed to have a non-life-threatening injury and will recover. But your thoughts on that? You heard it? So the suspect was searching for someone underage. They go to school together. He was 16, so perhaps the suspect himself is around that age. Your thoughts this evening?
Michael, once again, you have these kids, 16 years old, where he get gun from. Then he angry, he want to go shoot his boy because they have some vibe. Now, first of all, when they weigh the cost of their action, they don't care. In other words, I don't care what happens to me after I make this decision. And that is a bad place for us to be in the society. That means these children have nothing to live for. They'll kill you, they'll kill me. And this is why, as the state have a responsibility to protect us, me and you, who paying our bills, who trying to live right. When these people running up and around figure they don't care, they'll do whatever they can, but the state don't protect us. We are not giving licensed firearm to protect ourselves, but they get all the guns on the street. Then, of course now, when they get fined with gun, they get a little 10 fine yet. I say, and I can say it again, 25 years for an unlicensed firearm and 5 years for every bullet in the chamber. We gotta send a message. If you find with a high-powered rifle, life in prison with no questions asked. You can't be playing with these people because they have nothing to live for and they will kill you, me, and our grandma. And we can let them do it. And then we can just say, oh, well, next one. No. You gotta put our foot down. The state has to put its foot down. The Minister of National Security from the Prime Minister down. You got to put your foot down on these criminals and say, listen, you will not destroy our society. You will not have our people living in fear. And we got the whole rest of us living in fear because some rogue thugs figure they could come shoot. We got to let them know that, listen, before you get us, we can get you. You're going to jail for life.
Shanique, like Cassie say, these a 16-year-old walking around the streets, who Lord one knows where they're getting the firearms from. But all from the kids straight on up, everybody got a firearm on the street. You get the businessmen and those who are applying for licenses to have a carry firearm can't get it. For whatever reason, sometimes you don't get a reason. But it's sad to see that you have young men that are still in high school, being the mindset of these young men. And we have anti-gang units that are all around. They know exactly who are these young men who are getting into these gangs, whatever. We have to start going to these schools and start rooting them out. We need to get them out of the system, get them away from the school system into some other reformatory system, whether it be boys and industrial, and start moving, or just put them out and say, hey, you need to make a decision.
Listen,
because
Michael,
all they are a disruption inside the system.
every police officer with a big thick leather belt, and they don't use those leather belt no more. You gotta grab these young men and you gotta whop them twice, 3 times, 4 times. Listen, foolishness is bound up in their heart. You gotta understand what scripture's saying. They ain't got no sense in their head.
But see,
a gut cut hip will straighten them out.
But you know what the issue is? When you have parents, sensible parents, who got their kids inside these schools, who want their kids to go in there and learn something, and when something happened to one of their kids, and the officers get upset, that when parents actually come there to defend their kids because they get troublemakers and they're continuously bothering their kids, they want to be. You have parents who come at children's defense who are the troublemakers in these schools. They are causing havoc in schools. They're causing fights. They're causing, systematic fights. It's just something that's constantly, because kids are being bullied daily. We've seen this over and over, but we continue to allow this. And then when parents parents and students who are there to learn, who actually want to put something in their mind and come up with a degree, when they get tired, they show up to the schools and say, hey, what you all doing?
We need no nonsense leaders in our executive and in our parliament. We don't need no one to lotion, pet, and powder criminals. We need to let them know that we don't have no time to play. If you break the law, we will break you. And so the Minister of National Security, he's supposed to say, listen, we coming after all of y'all, and turn the whole country upside down if you have to. We have to get this right, because what happened? Innocent 4-year-old, a young child was 4 years old, almost shot, dead. And then what we can say, oh, that's another one dead. These young people have nothing to live for, but we got to let them know to listen, you ain't going to take our country from us. Before you do that, we coming after you, because there's a lot of us who pay our taxes, who are law-abiding citizens, try to make sure do what is right, and we got to live in fear. Like Michael said, we can't even get no protection for us, but they got all the guns on the street, and we allow that to happen.
Get the system
but we get corruption in the system. We get corruption in the system. Also, that's basically, I would say, not allowing law-abiding citizens to get what they deserve.
I mean, they threatened me and Shanique.
Get the system.
I mean, we've all been threatened. I mean, someone threatened to kill me and Shanique, but we still ain't get our protection yet. Come on. So, I mean, listen, I say it on TV, yes, it happened. But, we got to send a message to criminals that there is no place for this undisciplined society. In my house, you can't play that in my house. I am the government in my house. I ain't got no time to discuss nothing. This is the law. And ain't no debating the law. The problem is, when God gives us the 10 commandments, we think that's the 10 suggestions. It's no suggestions. That's commandments.
No, Cassius, it's outdated, because people have become wise now.
You see, we too smart for God.
That's,
those rules are not suggestions. These are commandments. We got to do it. Questions that you don't debate with God. You don't debate with Him.
Society, because later on we'll talk about about $2 million investment in a new airport in Mayaguana. Well, thank God the islands are still largely quite pristine and beautiful to live. But what I'm saying is, we continue making these investments and don't have it accompanied by strict law and order. And I'm not talking to have an authoritative sort of society. I'm saying, though, a society where respect and honor and respect for mankind and one another is the rule of the day. It's as simple as that. Reintroduce those things that once defined this nation and set this nation apart.
I can leave one question. What good is all the opportunity if there's no one to take advantage of it? What good is it? We can have all the opportunities. We could have Freeport doing the shipyard, and Mayaguana doing the this, and Auckland's doing the that, and we ain't got not a soul in the Bahamas to take advantage of it, because everybody doing their own thing, everybody rogue, there's no discipline in society, and the whole thing collapse. You got to be able to create people to take advantage of the opportunities.
Along with that, as Bahamians, we have to take pride in things that whether it be what we build, we have to take pride in it. Because you know what happened? Yeah, we got this big, nice airport that's just going on in Mayaguana. Look at that. I want you to look at that airport in 5 years.
Man, don't
What
say
that
that.
might
Michael
cost.
don't. Michael
5
don't.
weeks.
Michael don't do that.
5
Michael,
weeks.
Michael, now you are wrong tonight on this Monday.
Well, I mean, they may be cleaning, Michael.
The
in
first
Meguana.
Monday of March to say, look at that airport in a minute from now.
But you see,
Don't do
but
that.
he got a point. He got a point. Just look at the history of the track record of government. Governments don't keep things right.
Look at some of our so-called new redeveloped airports around some of these other family islands
Yeah, he's
that only
right.
might have been there 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You go and look at the state of those now in terms of how nasty and dirty some of those look.
No maintenance.
Bahamians. First of all, no maintenance is right. Let's just stop right there at the very first. But then the things we do to our own edifices, whether it's dumping and throwing garbage out or going marking up and breaking up the chair while you're sitting on waiting for your flight to be called. But once you go and sit in Miami International Airport or wherever else it is, your leg crossed and you're trying to act
Because
decent.
the rules are different. And the rules are enforced in Miami. You see, but the rules aren't enforced in the Bahamas. Because I just came from the airport today, and when I see all kind of beer bottle on the ground by the airport.
Which airport?
NASA International, in their parking lot. All kind of beer bottles. And I'm saying to myself, who's so nasty?
Man.
Nasty. You can
Is it
throw all
simple?
your... There's a garbage bin right there.
Animals.
You put your damn beer bottle in the garbage.
What you wouldn't do elsewhere, you should not do at home.
But you see, these people do at home. That's the problem is. Their homes are nasty.
When I say take pride, when I take pride in what it is that, the Bahamas is ours. We have to take pride in what belongs to us. And I'll just give you an example. I mean, sometimes I walk Angleston on Balfour Avenue, sometimes daily. And I put garbage tins outside of my establishments. People would not use those garbage tins. They rather throw the bottles and throw the papers, whatever, on the side of the road. And I have to be the one to go behind and pick that up every morning.
What do you call it, Michael? What do you call that?
Man, it's nasty.
But you know what, Shanique? There is a parable. So the man get 1 talent, one get 5, one get 10. The one who get 1 decided he ain't gonna do nothing with it. In other words, you have the Bahamas, you ain't do nothing with it. You know who can get it? The one who get 10. Some other people can come and take your whole Bahamas away from you because you was too nasty and you didn't deserve it. So God gave it to some people, other people.
I tell you, we could argue on that point on this same discussion and topic all night because I have another name for it, but I know if I say that, Urkel will quickly message me. Quickly, because I could tell you what it truly is. A decision, gentlemen, from an intense dispute that lasted months being handed down today, but how will it affect the fate of the nation's second city? That question lingers tonight as there aren't much answers. Jose Etienne has this story, and then we come back and talk about it.
But I can't say any more than that at this moment.
Still, it remains unclear whether the Davis administration will receive the $357 million it has been seeking from the Grand Bahama Port Authority. That figure was at the heart of the dispute. The government accused the GBPA of failing to meet certain obligations related to infrastructure, economic development, and regulatory responsibilities within the port area. And that $357 million claim may now be significantly higher. In its annual budget communication, the Davis administration indicated its intention to bill the GBPA $75 million annually to cover expenses it says are not offset by tax revenues generated in the port area. The Prime Minister, however, made it clear he does not intend to be drawn into disclosing further details.
Well, as I said, I don't want to get into it because I may stray into revealing the content of the arbitration judgment. And so I will just hold my tongue for now, and I'm smiling.
Observers have described this as a high-stakes legal battle, one that could have far-reaching implications for Freeport's future. The arbitration marked the culmination of a prolonged and very public dispute between the two sides, playing out in statements, press conferences, and political commentary for weeks. Hypothetically, if the ruling is unfavorable to the government, critics may argue it validates claims that the Davis administration overreached in its challenge of the GBPA. Sources familiar with the matter also note that this is not the first time a government has tested the parameters of its relationship with the Port Authority, suggesting previous legal challenges have not succeeded.
But I believe that this is the first time that the government has challenged the GBPA Limited itself. All of the previous times that the government has challenged clauses in the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, they have gone to court, and the government has never been successful in
the president of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce says the government has never been successful in I guess, going against the Grand Bahama Port Authority for whatever it's owed. This time, it's in excess of $300 million in outstanding taxes. Gentlemen, should the government kind of leave that alone based on all that the Grand Bahama Port Authority says it has on the drawing board and in the pipeline to help stimulate the economy of Grand Bahama?
I mean, I'm a businessman and I have a lot of things in the pipeline, but I got to pay my taxes too. So they're not exempted. I mean, and the government is lickers left, right, and center, and so on. So because we got to carry our load, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is a company within the Bahamas that got to operate, and they perhaps collect taxes, but they got to pay their fair share too. We got a $12 billion national debt. We pay $500 million plus a year on interest payments on the loan. We have heavy deficits. We can't let nobody escape because the government licking us all around. You think the Grand Bahama Authority should get away? And so my good question is, I don't know what the 25% of the Bahamas government own in the Grand Bahama Authority, where that gone? Somebody tell me.
You know, and I agree with Cassius. You know, I taken my licks today. I mean, you know, I guess, you know, this new liquor certificate killing, this can kill us and a lot of Bahamians. But
what do you mean? Pause for a second right there, Michael. What do you mean the liquor certificate?
Something imposed in the government imposed some months back. I'm pretty sure a lot of business around the Bahamas right now are going through a whole deal. I don't know if the government knows exactly what they're doing as it relates to, you know, the new laws that they put in place as it relates to restaurants, bars, and hotels. You got to be this amount of feet from.
Oh,
schools.
you're talking about the new law about not selling liquor in certain jurisdictions type thing.
But which should apply to new business coming on stream, but now they seem to be applying it to, you could have been around 30, 40 years, and they're now telling you, hey, we're not giving you this, we're not giving you that. I mean, this is something that's clearly not thought of. And, you know, and now going back on topic with the Grand Bahama Port Authority, you know, what I'm skeptical about is the unknown. Like Cassius just asked, where's the 25% that the government's supposed to own? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Why is this arbitration all of a sudden now in secret? You know, it's a lot of unknowns to this, and, you know, we can sit here and talk about, you know, Grand Bahama, but we don't know what all concessions was ever given that we just don't know about.
And
if the government has went after them multiple times and have lost, it's obvious the government isn't doing their homework or don't know all of the actual. They don't know the unknowns why they keep going to court, going in arbitration, and coming out without a win.
I think the Port Authority may have been able to operate blindly, and the government doesn't really know what type of revenue they bring in, because had they known, you know, then we could have really made some proper decisions. But I think everybody got to pay their fair share in the Bahamas, because
it's the Port Authority concept, because I'm getting this from someone who knows Grand Bahama well, because they're in Grand Bahama, says, listen, the Port Authority concept is destroying Freeport in Grand Bahama. Is it a model that's outdated now in 2026?
See, my problem is the government of the Bahamas don't have the necessary skill set within its ranks to be able to run nothing. Because we can't even run a simple airport. We leasing out all the airports for PPP. That's the dumbest thing. You should never lease out your airports. Your airports are national security.
But how are they supposed to get fixed
because if you lease it to me, you give it to me for $20 million. You got $20 million as the government. You could raise $20 million and inject that into the business, and then also use service fees, parking fees, and all the airports. I just came from Governor's Harbour Airport. Everybody parking for free. But you want a new airport, let them pay for parking.
The problem is that we continue to run governments like it's some mom and pop shops, and we don't want to employ the brightest of the brightest, ensure that, you know, the job is being done right. It goes back to education and our young people coming up. You know, at the end of the day, you have a small pool of people that we're choosing from in terms of from the employment standpoint. So then you have, at the end of the day, we get foreign companies who are going out looking for the best of the best, whereas governments, we just want to say, hey, yeah, you say you need a job? Oh, yeah, go there.
I mean, just think about it. I mean, the difficulty of, most of the people who make these laws are not in business. It's like professors who telling students what business they should go into, and they never start no business before in their life, right? So they know the theory, but they don't know the practical. And so the people who make these laws don't understand what the business people on the ground go through, because, I mean, for me, in Eleuthera, if you bring a container in from China, it's $10,000. But to ship that same container from Nassau to Eleuthera, you've got to pay another $10,000. Why is the government allowing that strain just from Nassau to Eleuthera? We subsidize all of the mailboats. The mailboats charging almost $4,000 just to ship from one point to the next. That's crazy. And so the government needs to say, listen, we got to regulate these industries because we got to help the small businesses on Eleuthera, on Acklands and Andres. But the shipping companies are killing them straight up. And they come back to us as a taxpayer saying, hey, you're subsidizing us, we need some more money. No, if you can kill all of the people who bring in and importing all these products, then you should be able to handle your own. But listen, this is what we do. Hold on. We give Bahamas and Atlantis up for $5 million a year for marketing and advertisement. I don't know if it ended.
Not necessary. That right there, that just makes no sense. These are multi-billion-dollar organizations.
So in their business plan, they should have factored in their marketing, but the government of the Bahamas covers that. The government of the Bahamas covers that. Now, for me, right? All right, you want to help the tourist industry, quote unquote. I understand that, right? But how many other Bahamian businesses in the tourist industry that we don't give no injection to? But you can give $4 million to this one and $5 million to this one, and they make it $200 million just on casino revenues alone. And I ain't talking about the other stuff. I mean, of course, they get overhead. But I mean, they're making money, but we still helping them out. And so for us, though, we got to make it make sense. Because
but speaking of helping out, Cassius
and
Michael,
the people who make the rules don't understand business.
I love the 1 second, Michael. I love the interjection when people who are knowledgeable can speak. And so here is something else. It says, if the government continues to bail out the Port Authority, if the government continue to bail out bail out Freeport, and the Port Authority is collecting taxes, we need a new national governance concept.
I mean, I think you know, we need a new approach to leading our country, because Grand Bahama is a powerhouse in the economic system of the Bahamas. And the government of the Bahamas needs to know how to manage that. But my point I was trying to make is that we can't manage airports. We're trying to relinquish the management of small airports. I mean, so they don't want to take the responsibility of managing Grand Bahama.
You see the small airport that was in Mayor Guana since before, right after the Bahamas received its certificate to say you're independent. Before then, that airport, if you huff and puff a little, you would have seen that tumble right down. And so you're trying to say the government, I think the government needs help
But you see, what I'm saying
being able to build and manage and keep these things moving.
See, the leader of the country needs to understand that he got to put people in place who can do the job, not because you're part of my political party. That's what's killing the Bahamas. Oh, I'm giving you this because you're with me. But that person may be dumb. And now all of us suffer because you're choosing a dumb person who wearing your party colors. We need people who could manage these industries, these different segments of the government, because we need productivity, we need effectiveness. At the end of the day, we need all of these systems of governments working.
Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
A partial decision has been made, but I can't say any more than that.
The Fox Foundation proudly presents the keynote speaker for the 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, this March 19th at 7 p.m. at the beautiful Bahamas Resort. Get ready to be inspired by Randy Zuckerberg, tech innovator and the creator of Facebook Live. She revolutionized real-time digital engagement, empowering individuals and brands to broadcast instantly to global audiences. And now she brings that innovation and insight to the Fox Foundation's 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, March 19th at 7 p.m. at the Bahamas Resort. Under this year's theme, Give to Gain, join us for a night designed to inspire growth, spark opportunity, and strengthen the future of women in business.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard,
but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Idle Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds.
When you set a budget before you start,
and know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
Fun.
So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
103.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D. All backed up by the Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, $30. VIP, $75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Cassius and Michael, viewers are saying a bunch of dumb groupies on both sides of the political divide while ignoring the real talent that's going to help move us forward with ideas that are necessary. Gentlemen, I want to get into this. A new era for Mayaguana. On Saturday, a new international airport was commissioned on the island. The last airport, you will remember, the state of that shell of a building was built before independence. The new airport and an aviation spec ambulance, part of Backswin, are now on the island of Mayaguana. It's a dream locals hoped for years. Danielle Dean was at the commissioning ceremony and has the story.
Mayaguana residents used vehicle headlights to guide a landing aircraft after runway lights failed in 2013. On Saturday, that memory stood in sharp contrast to a new full-service airport, now equipped with security, police, and emergency response facilities. Prime Minister Philip Davis called the moment symbolic of progress and safety.
The fact that we have improved the airport, the lights, etc., remove that possibility again of where we have to bring cars out to the runway to ensure that emergency flights could come in. But the significance is obvious. You have a terminal, you have connectivity, and all of that will bring people to the islands and in a safe and secure manner.
Home to fewer than 300 residents, Mayaguana has long relied on mailboat service as its primary connection to the capital. Officials say the new airport will improve access, boost tourism, and create economic opportunities.
Opening new cargo, air, sea, creation of industries, including commercial fishing. I've envisaged one day that we're going to be flying seafood out of here to Brazil directly. You got the airstrip to do it.
The project forms part of the government's 14 airport expansion plan, also targeting Abaco, Bimini, and Ket Island. The Prime Minister maintains no island is receiving special treatment.
Some are completing sooner than others. That's because of the pace that the contractor is going and because of any other logistics that may attend to the construction period.
Chairman of Mayaguana Island Developers, Stephen Roy, who has been involved in the project for more than a decade, says completion of the terminal is a turning point.
The final impetus to get the construction of this terminal building underway came from a video that was mentioned earlier, which circulated showing the conditions of the old terminal. And on seeing that, I wrote to the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister and committed to begin construction of this terminal.
The airport was completed in December and received full power in January. While officials anticipate a steady stream of investors, residents say the true test will be whether regular airlift and sustained economic activity follow. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
And so, gentlemen, you see that there a brand new airport. Mayaguanians, I think, are very, very happy for it. It also meets international ICAO standards because present with that opening was also the official introduction and commissioning of a brand new aviation spec ambulance, something that is very important to allow for growth, for real growth to happen with increased airlift from all around the world. Gentlemen, your response to Mayaguana having its opportunity?
Well, we're glad for the new infrastructure in Mayaguana. We know that the I group was down in Mayaguana and they were having a number of challenges, and this plan was on the drawing board for a little while, I think under Ingram administration as well, to Christie and Ingram and so on and so on and so. But I'm happy that we finally got some sensible airport in Maiguana. Now, I just want you to, whilst we're talking about this, I just need you to just cut down the tree that's growing in the window, in the clinics, in Acklands. We can't have the clinics.
What's happening in Acklands? But Cassie, stop it. Stop.
Listen, the clinic. They sent me a picture. It's
Where's
like
the picture?
in a bad state. I can send it to you, but it's in a bad. I mean, and my children love Acklands. They go down and say, "Daddy, you can't believe this, the clinic." And so we got to be able to provide across the board proper services for all Bahamians, no matter where they reside, whether it's Maiguana, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, wherever. Give them proper service and to make sure that they have the best. And so, thank you so much, Mr. Davis, for making sure this happened. Now let's make sure that the rest of the islands get the same kind of treatment.
Shanique, I'm happy to see for any family islands, especially those that have airports or terminals that look like the way that Maiguana would have looked before this one. I'm happy to see that the family islands are getting the attention and the infrastructure that's needed. Across the board. Long Island, hopefully, we'll be seeing our airport hopefully sooner rather than later, along with other infrastructure upgrades, whether it be the ambulance and other, things in terms of fire trucks. But, one thing I want to stress, I
really wanted you to be the ambi for Long Island.
But I want to stress something. We get all these new things. I just want to insist, and also you put the I guess some sense of I'm gonna get back the sense of pride on the islanders to ensure that these things are upkept, they're kept clean. Repairs are done.
That's so true.
Regular maintenance are being done, whether it be on the fire truck for the airport. Just make sure, make sure the islanders ask the question every couple months, because sometimes the government is just play forget.
But the thing is, see, and Michael, this is why I said to Cassius, I believe it has to be that collaboration. Here's why. Backswin is responsible, and not just that airport, around the Bahamas for those emergency response vehicles, and it's going to be much more than that. Imagine if the government had to go and have to be responsible for those as well. They would have been missing a tire that was flat for a long time, and nobody could fix it because they didn't have the authority. Then there's no that size tire ain't on the island, and then you can't bring it on the boat. Listen. I think this works for now, gentlemen. Your thoughts?
Well, Shanique, I know we're ending now, right?
Yes.
But I just came back from the island where the Gullah Geechee first landed, where all our ancestors landed, and that is, guess what island it is?
Eleuthera. Yeah.
That is the #1 island in the Bahamas. It's the capital of the Bahamas. Listen, Clifford Sands, Rodney Pinder, them, they say they watch you every night, and so we gotta say hello to them. They say they love you. Hold on, Mike. Hold on. Let's put a left side.
Eleuthera is stunning.
You all got 3 airports down there.
You all
got 3 airports down there.
Eleuthera's the capital, though. Was the former capital?
No. You all need to have one central airport.
We got that. Governor's Harbour.
No, one airport. That's all you all need.
You know it's the fastest growing island in the Bahamas?
Eleuthera. Nassau.
Eleuthera. Look at Michael Mann. I tell you, Michael Mann.
It's freedom. It's the island of freedom.
I can't take this because they got 3 whole airports under renovation. You got certain islands can't get one.
I think, Michael, believe me, so I was there in Maiguana as well on Saturday. I'm telling you what I heard. Other airports are in line. Perhaps Long Island as well.
Yes, they are. But I'm saying Eleuthera has 3 that are ongoing renovations concurrent.
Yes. But listen, we can fight next week.
They need to put y'all down to 1 and go do works in other islands.
Eleuthera has North Eleuthera got Harbour Island to deal with.
Listen to me.
Central Eleuthera got the central, and then we got
the entire Eleuthera economy. See, I guess the way the economy is moving, it depends on what's.
Y'all gonna put airport on Harbour Island too.
Club Madison to open up.
They need to rid it of the criminal element first. Then they could come back and rethink that. Meanwhile, gentlemen, the last comment tonight, Justin, D'Angelo, y'all. Economic growth requires the development of new cities, beginning with 2 in the Northwest Bahamas, 1 in the Central Bahamas, and 1 in the Southeast Bahamas. One-off projects without a comprehensive national development plan and strategy will not work. Gentlemen?
I agree. But you know, I put a 40-year plan a long time ago, but we need to build the Bahamas
We'll
systematically.
pick up tomorrow evening, gentlemen. I am so happy that you both are here this evening. I love your thoughts, your ideas, and your responses and perspectives to all of the big stories this today and obviously this evening. Thank you all very much. Cassie Stewart, Michael Turnquest, and a big thank you to all of you this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, for participating. I appreciate that, along with my team. And speaking of my team, on behalf of the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a blessed evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.